Members of the 17th Sangguniang Panlalawigan, guests, fellow public servants, our beloved Cebuanos, mayong hapon nilang tanan.
May hapon.
First of all, I would like to thank Vice Governor Jen Sogo and the members of this august body for your presence during my inauguration and oath taking. I believe that presence there was more than just for the sake. It was a message. A message that despite party differences, we can still choose to stand together, unite for the province of Cebu. Today, I return the gesture, not out of commitment as the governor of Cebu, but because of my promise to the Cebuanos of a colorless kind of government. Most importantly, this is part of my vow to work with everyone to achieve our dream of becoming a more progressive and premier province of Cebu. As I've said before, gobernador ko sa tanang Cebuanon, dili lang sa mga nagdaon, dili lang sa kaalyado, kundi sa tanang Cebuano. Bisan usapang sa ilang kolor, partido or pili. We have all just emerged from a hard-fought election. At times, emotions were high and battle lines were drawn. But now, the people have spoken, and the Cebuanos who put us in this position are watching. I'm sure they do not expect us to agree with everything, but they do expect us to work together on the things that matter most. So I come before you today not to impose, but to invite. Let us lead, govern, huyog ang mga Cebuanos para sa mga Cebuanos. Let us build a new Cebu provincial government where power is not only concentrated in the office of the governor. Let's help build Cebu together. To do this, I ask for your partnership in the following principles of engagement. First, let us make public hearings a norm, not a formality. I urge our board members that before we pass ordinances that affect the lives of constituents, let us first listen to them. I believe that the mark of a good governance starts with listening to the people. Let us take note of their sentiments and let us propose and grant actual resolutions that are for them and for our localities. Second, I am proposing not a government budget, but a people's budget. Let us craft our budget with our stakeholders and let us review it with transparency. This is a leveled up form of checks and balances, since it would just be a government agency or official looking after another government body, it is the people looking after us. Third, I ask that our budget reflects not ambition, but reality. Dili ta mangandoy nga mulapas sa atong mahimo. We must plan within our means, not inflate figures just to impress. Atong ihatag sa mga Cebuano ang pinakamaayo nga gobyerno nga angay kanila. And the only way we can do this is to give them the kind of services they truly deserve. First is better, if not the best, kind of healthcare services. The only way to do this is to put more budget in healthcare than what it has been getting all these years. This is the reason I believe in redesigning the Suroy-Suroy Subo and Pasigarbo Subo. As much as I support tourism efforts, which I believe would still be a priority, given that we are a top tourism destination, ibalik nato sa mga Cebuanon ang ilang buhis, pinaagi sa maayong programa sama sa serbisyong panglawas. Imagine the additional hospitals, equipment, and medicine we can provide for our district and provincial hospitals if we relocate instead a a part of the budget of the Sursuri Subo and Pasigal Subo. Another one I want to stop is the Subo Cemento. Not a lot of people know this, but this is a capital program. That started in 2024, where we buy cement from manufacturers and sell it to contractors. I want to instead put more budget into food security and the agricultural programs, as well as education programs, where students will be provided with the necessary training that matches the current industry demand. I know this won't be easy. We will disagree. There may be tension. That is a part of democracy. Pero bisan pa sa atong kalahian, unta magpabilin nga usa ang atong tuyo pagserbisyo sa Cebuanon, because we are all public servants of the Cebuano people. This is not about who gets the credit. This is about getting things done. And so I humbly ask this board, let us put Cebu first. Let us put the Cebuanos first. Let us rise above personal and political interests and work for something bigger than all of us. In line with this, I am also asking for your support on several legislative priorities that will help shape a stronger, more transparent, and more competitive Cebu. One of the most important initiatives I urge these bodies to support is a Freedom of Information Ordinance. When we promote openness, when we allow access to government records and actions, we invite participation and prevent corruption. We empower the Cebuanos to engage and to ask questions. I'm also proposing the creation of a Provincial Investment and Promotion Office to actively attract and facilitate investors. If we want to compete globally, Cebu must make it easier for potential investors to do business in the province. We have to create a corridor for business in the province of Cebu. Closely tied to this is the revision of the Cebu Investment Code. This is needed in order to align our policies with growth sectors like business process outsourcing, renewable energy, and sustainable tourism. We must offer competitive incentives that bring long-term jobs and sustainable growth. Tourism, which remains one of our most vital industries, deserves a dedicated provincial tourism department, one that consolidates efforts, drives international recognition, and uplifts local communities. And by supporting tourism efforts, we have to make sure that we are ready to protect our visitors. But more importantly, the Cebuanos, by strengthening our response to climate risk through the establishment of a provincial disaster risk reduction and management department. Disaster preparedness must be institutionalized. In line with this and in the name of sustainability, I ask that we amend our reclamation ordinance to reflect national environmental standards. This protects our coastline and ensures responsible development. Lastly, let us update the revenue code of Cebu to reflect modern realities, enhance collection, support small businesses, and fund vital infrastructure and public services. Let us also encourage the local government units to step up the standard of governance. Let us institutionalize a good governance and competitiveness performance incentive like the Seal of Good Local Governance of DILG and CFCI of DTI. These are not mere proposals. These are necessary reforms to build the kind of Cebu our children and grandchildren will inherently thrive. I know this is a lot, but together we can achieve all this plus more. I've already signed 18 executive orders related to my priorities in my first week of office. I imagine what more we can do if we all work together. In the next few years, when I won, I was told na ang diha magbantay o magpaabot kung kanus akam sayo aron magkiha ka o dili ka mahuman sa imong termino. But I am confident that along with 1.1 million Cebuanos who believe in me and the many more who have already been converted, I trust that you can all work with me, advise me, and my team if needed. Because as I always say, I am not the expert. I am here to listen and to facilitate. Let's have a constructive and fruitful discourse despite our differences. I need all of you. Kaya I need the governor, but dili ako ang subo. Dili inyo ang salunian, but atong tanan kuyog sa katauhan. Ato ang subo. Let me end this by saying how proud I am of each and every one of us here. We are here to start a new era of leadership in the province of Cebu. And one that chooses to unite and work together. Kita ang mga bagong leader sa Cebu na dili mubabag sa kalambuan o ihatag sa mga Cebuanon ang tinutanay na ginasingkas ni na servisyo. Daghang salamat and may God bless us and our beloved province of Cebu. Thank you.